Vince McMahon is at it again, wrestling fans. My name is Joe Cronin. This is the Joe Cronin Show, brought to you by audibletrial.com/JCS. You guys can get your own audiobook. I love listening to podcasts. You love listening to podcasts. I hate reading, but we all would love to get the information that is in the books. We just don't want to read them, so you got to listen to the audiobook. And what's better than listening to Chris Jericho narrate his own audiobook? And you get the book for free. There's no strings attached. There's no charges or anything like that. You can just sign up, get the audiobook, and cancel it. Never costs you anything, but you do get a free 30-day trial from audibletrial.com/JCS. Use my link, audibletrial.com/JCS. Not only do you get a free audiobook, but we get credit for it as well, thanks to our friends at Audible. And, of course, the Kenny Omega shirt is still available. The link is in the description box below, and it's pinned to the top of the comments as well. The Kenny Omega shirt, guys, everybody wanted to know about these, so I went and found them, and they have them for $19.99. They don't have them for the $30 and whatever else on eBay. It's on Amazon, not $29, it's $19.99. Do not buy the overpriced ones. There's still the original price available at my link below, which takes you to our Amazon page that is sponsored. Therefore, we get credit for the sale. You save $5 to $10 on the shirt. Merry Christmas. We're all in business. Vince McMahon wanted to bury. This has come out recently, and it's somebody that I thought that Vince McMahon wouldn't like in the first place. I talked about this before, and I think it's still true to this. I think it's true, and that's why some of this rumor I understand, but this is also one of those rumors that could just seriously be speculation. They decided to do something for usually no reason whatsoever, and now the rumors run wild. A lot of speculation. Cedric Alexander's WWE status. Word is that his quick loss at Clash of Champions was a call made by Vince McMahon. Well, no shit, right? Vince wanted to bury Cedric, reportedly. That's according to Dave Meltzer of Wrestling Observer Radio. The speculation began when WWE announced Cedric versus AJ in the pre-show, because we were all surprised it was in the pre-show. And that's the rumor, that Vince McMahon wanted to bury Cedric Alexander. It was believed that Cedric was headed towards and this comes from Wrestling Inc. now, the verbiage I'm giving you now is coming from Mark Middleton of WrestlingInc.com. It was believed that Cedric was headed for a strong singles push after it was revealed that he had a big supporter in Paul Heyman. We talked about this last night on the Raw review, by the way, winning all this. But Vince nixed the plans. See, I feel like it could be way less nefarious than this. It could be so much less like, ooh, Vince McMahon put a stop and wants to bury someone. Like, I don't think that that's how Vince a lot of times works. I feel like a lot of times Vince just goes, you know what, we need AJ to be strong. We need AJ to look strong and powerful. The OC needs to be strong. So I changed my mind. But Vince, we just built up Cedric all this time, and now you're going to have him buried? Well, yeah, but all right, put that match on the pre-show. So I believe that it was taken off the main card and put on the pre-show, so it had less eyes on it, but AJ Styles could remain strong because that's what they want, and they realized, finally, that the OC has to look strong. You can't have Cedric Alexander beating them and stuff like that. You can't have another Samoa Joe situation. AJ Styles in the OC has to appear very strong. And so while I do agree that this is a total fork in the road situation for Cedric Alexander with the way he was cruising down the highway, all of a sudden fork in the road. But I don't think it was a straight up burial by Vince McMahon. I think it was just another classic Vince McMahon. They didn't book it right. They were like, oh, let's do this with Cedric, and then they decided, no, never mind. We need to make the OC strong. And then they tried to, I believe they're sort of protecting Cedric and AJ and everybody by being like, no, AJ's got to go over. They've got to look strong. But you know what? Put it on the pre-show because it doesn't matter anymore. Because we had plans for it where Cedric would upset AJ perhaps or look very strong and have this big match. But now we're deciding not to do that, so put it on the pre-show. So in my opinion, this is all just, to me, it's all pure speculation from Dave Meltzer looking at the situation and then creating this prefabricated rumor. I mean, that's how I feel about it. Now, maybe Dave Meltzer does know something we don't know. That is 100% possible. But to me, this is just a smart sort of speculation that anybody could come to this conclusion by just saying it, by making it up based on what's happened. But I think what I've said is a lot more accurate. Why would you just, I'm going to bury this guy Cedrick now? I don't think, while that may be the result of this, similar to what they did with Buddy Murphy, but I don't think it was the nefarious intention of Vince to go, I'm going to bury this son of a bitch. I don't think that's what he's doing. I think that he had a plan for him. He changed his mind again, and he sort of hid it away. And that's why it was moved to the pre-show, because all the plans and the focus they had for that match went out the window, and Vince wanted to keep business as usual for AJ. And I think I've overstated my point here. But there you go. That being said, there's a couple other things. Triple H and Vince McMahon reportedly missed this week's WWE Raw. Heyman was in charge. Once again, everybody freaking out about that. Oh, they're going to do whatever they want. Awesome. Heyman's in charge. Oh, this is great. That's why half the show was good and half the show was bad. Half the show that was good was Heyman's idea. And come on, man. Vince McMahon approved everything via Skype. Vince was there via Skype. And not only that, Vince approved the script. Probably made changes to the script. Just because Paul Heyman was there to think on the fly if something happened, adjust times if timing stuff happened, and basically execute the plan. That's what did I say Paul Bear? That's what Paul Heyman was there to do. Execute the plan and do what he's supposed to do and keep it busy. By the way, audibletrial.com/JCS. Get your free audiobook, guys. Don't mess around. This may not be there forever. You have a chance to support the show, but get a free audiobook. audibletrial.com/JCS. And again, on the Omega shirt as well. Don't want to miss the Omega shirt. The link is down below. It takes you to a special Amazon link, so it's not some weird website. You don't know what you're buying from. It's Amazon. We get the credit, and it's only $19.99 for the Omega shirt. A lot of people wanted it. I'm just reiterating. Big Cass issued a statement on the WrestlePro situation. We talked about Big Cass the other day. Obviously, the guy's battling depression. It's horrible. Like, I made jokes the other day about all these things, but I hope the guy's all right. I really do. I wish he would come on my show and talk to us, even maybe have a good time over here. But then again, maybe this ain't the best environment for him. But I hope whatever's going on, he gets help and he's okay. Just a very sad, sort of scary situation with him, because I feel bad for him, because I think seems like he's a good guy. And I mean, you can't imagine getting over like he did in this short amount of time in the wrestling business, and then you're out of the WWE and you're left to kind of fend for yourself after you felt like you were developing into a star. It's very, I don't know. It's very difficult. He said, I'm getting help from my family and friends as we speak. I'll be getting professional help in the near future. Please respect my privacy in the meantime. When and if I reemerge as a public figure, it will be in good faith. He apologized to like Pat Buck and Joey Janela and all the guys at WrestlePro. You shouldn't have apologized to back down Joey Janela, though, Cass. Come on. But no, hope he's all right. Sent a big statement. He's definitely serious. He says he doesn't really remember the events of what happened. He kind of went nutty. I get it. Everybody loses their mind at some point. But it was crazy. Baron Corbin won the King of the Ring last night, and tonight on SmackDown they're gonna crown the King, Baron Corbin, and it was a really good match. And I mean, I think the WWE knew what they were doing. They were like, if we have this thing be so legitimate, and it's a very, very good match, it will be legitimate, and it was. It really was. I don't think a lot of people would have been, so overly hyped if Gable had won. But Gable did come out looking very good in this whole thing. And Corbin, in the end, I guess, can do more with it than Gable would. You know what I mean? Like, while it would have been great for Gable to win a tournament like this, he would have wore the crown for a second, and then that would have been it. But as a heel, Corbin is able to, hey, I'm the king, and I'm blah, 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 and King Corbin, and he can really sort of promoted everywhere, and it can be used for a long time. And he needed something too. Baron Corbin kind of did. He went from that biker, metal-looking guy to all of a sudden this dorky butler, and that's kind of run its course. And now he's got this sort of king persona he can come on to. So in the end, it will benefit him longer then it would have benefited Gable. So I get that decision. So that's cool. I think a lot of people aren't as mad as they thought they were going to be if Corbin won because of how legitimate they treated it, despite the, Elias ankle injury and the Shane McMahon thing and whatever else. I think the people appreciate the way things went down in the end. Rollins and The Fiend will face off at Hell in the Cell, as we had said months ago when we heard the rumors and saw the posters that had already emerged about a month and a half ago. So all those leaks were true, mostly because they came from the arena themselves. So that didn't really, they really gotta sew that shit up, man. They can't allow like us to know a month and a half ahead of time that these guys are going into Hell in a Cell. And then they work programs with each other on house shows for 3 weeks. And then 3 weeks later, we know that. And so then you put 2 and 2 together, and it really starts to become very clear and evident the path. And it just spoils everything, man. You can't do stuff like that anymore. That doesn't work anymore. I don't mind guys working like programs with each other or like house shows with each other, before they have a match. That makes sense. But maybe mix it up a little bit, like where, Bray Wyatt and Seth wrestle for about 2 weeks, but then they get somebody else, and then they get somebody else, and then they come back to each other. I don't know. I don't know what the real answer is, but people are going to become very tipped off very quickly with the way things are run that way. That being said, that's all I got for you right now. I got more to come. I'm working on Morning Madness. It's almost going up now on Patreon, so look for that if you're a patron. It's a big episode this morning, a huge episode on Patreon. My dog is freaking out upstairs, and I don't know why. But it is a huge episode going on to Patreon right now, guys. Don't forget about the audibletrial.com/JCS, and don't forget to check out my Patreon page, and you get 30 hours of bonus content that you can't hear anywhere else. Patreon.com/Joe Cronin Show. Download the app on your phone. If you haven't used Patreon yet, it is awesome. The feed, it's really fun. The archiving isn't very good. So for archives, go to joecroninshow.net. And you have access to over 1,000 posts I've made on Patreon, including over 150 episodes of Morning Madness, over 100 episodes of Corrupted Podcast, over 12 episodes of me and my wife's podcast, Till Death Do Us podcast, over 10 episodes of Honestly Podcast with Tommy, Final Frontier News, and more. Patreon.com/Joe Cronin Show. 30 hours a month, not heard on YouTube, uncensored, for $5 a month. You get that. And then there's other tiers. Check them all out. That's it. I'm really leaving this time. Here's some other videos that you might have missed. Make sure to check back on my channel daily for more content. And I'll be live after SmackDown.